Relevance is a choice. Relevance is a choice. Relevance is something you make a decision to do. It's intentional. If you don't choose to be it, you become irrelevant very, very quickly. So how do you stay relevant? Let me give you 3 things. You might write these down. If you're going to stay relevant, there are 3 factors you're going to have to constantly deal with the rest of your life. One of them is corporate culture. The second is personal leadership. And the third is stakeholder emotions. And that's the most important one of all. Corporate culture, personal leadership, stakeholder emotions. So let me give you 3 decisions that you need to make to stay relevant. And I just put a little acrostic. This is the DNA of relevance, DNA. D stands for develop a lab mentality. If your organization, if your business, if your community service or whatever you're going to have to develop a lab mentality to stay relevant. What does a laboratory do? It experiments. And so what you have to do is you have to create a culture where you're constantly experimenting and you never, never, never stop experimenting. And in experiments, you fail most of the time, but you learn to fail fast. If you always do what you've always done, you're going to be irrelevant because you can't use yesterday's solutions in tomorrow's world. So you develop a mentality of always experimenting, always. That's the D in DNA. The N in staying relevant is never stop learning. Never, never stop learning. Growing organizations require growing leaders. The moment you stop growing, your organization stops growing. All leaders are learners. The moment you stop learning, you stop leading. The A, and this is one that most people don't get, is you must acknowledge the grief. You say, what do you mean by that? Because this is going to throw you out of left field. Acknowledge grief. There is no growth without change. There is no change without loss. There is no loss without pain. There is no pain without grief. Growth of a company or anything else requires loss because you've got to let go of the old to grab onto the new. And where there is no growth without change and no change without loss, because you're letting go of old to grab onto the new, where that loss is, there's going to be pain and there's going to be grief. Now, guys, those of us who are men, we don't get grief. We're not very good at dealing with negative emotions. And a lot of times, people in your organization, when you are changing, you think they're oppositional. They're just grieving. Let me say that again. A lot of people who you think are oppositional to your new idea, they're not opposed to it. They're grieving. And you got to go through all the stages of grief. Grief is a good thing. You say, why? It's the way we get through the transitions of life. Grief won't kill your company. Fear will, resentment will, bitterness will, pride and unwillingness to learn new things will, but grief won't kill your company. If you're going to be a wise leader and you're going to lead an organization that grows exponentially by the decade, you're going to have to learn to deal with people's emotions. You're going to have to learn to let them grieve. And you need to learn to honor the past without perpetuating the past. We are all products of our past, but we're not prisoners of it.